Bud Stege's active love for hockey included watching the St. Louis Flyers in the 1940s and playing pond hockey as a boy. Bud coached the Winterland Hockey Association and was one of the founders of the Rainbow Rockets, the St. Louis Elite and Midget Prospects. Bud's more than 40 years of coaching included 6 years with John Wensink on the Pee Wee Quebec team, and 7 years with the Rainbow Rockets, 13 years as coach and advisor for the St. Louis Junior Blues, and 13 years as coach for the St. Louis Elite. His favorite memories involved in traveling to Toronto, Ontario, and coaching against Canadian teams in all age levels with the Rainbow Rockets, and his Junior Blues B teams playing junior varsity teams at the collegiate level in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Now today, Bud serves on the board for the St. Peter's Spirit and is manager and coach of the Central States Bantam team from St. Peter's. Let's please welcome and congratulate Bud Stege.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor to get this bestowed on me with the Amateur Hockey Hall of Fame. I promised Scott Rupp I wouldn't cry, so I'm not going to attempt that. My heart goes out to hockey and always has in the 40-some years that I've done it. I want to thank my wife, Virginia, my daughters, Terry, Tracy, Diane, and my son Tim for sticking with me for 40-some years. There's so many things I'd like to talk about, but I only got a few minutes, and I don't want to keep you at bay, okay? I started back in the early 40s skating on the ponds, pond hockey. Got involved with amateur hockey at the Winterland. Went on with the Rainbow Rockets, which was a very good organization. A lot of the fellows here played there. From there, I went on to the Midget Comets, then the Junior Blues, the first year when Mr. Emil Francis wanted the Junior B team in St. Louis. I had a midget team that was probably one of the better teams that come out of St. Louis in the midget level. Mr. Farrar called me up one night and he said, Bud Stege, he said, my name is Frank Farrar, and you don't know me. He said, I'm the president of the St. Louis Blues. He says, Mr. Francis wants to start a junior B team, and we'd love to have you be the assistant coach. We have a coach, but we want you to be the assistant. And I said, okay, Mr. Farrar. So I went down to the arena, and we sit down, and I said, Mr. Farrar, you're pulling my leg. You don't want me. You want the 14, 15 midget players that I had. And he said, Bud, you're right. He said, we still So I said, okay. And I said, but do me one favor. And I said, you got them. You take these boys in front of the colleges. You let them play in front of the junior varsity teams. He said, I'll do that. We played against the University of Minnesota. We played against the University of Wisconsin when Bob Johnson was there. We played River Falls. We played Kent State, University of Alabama. He did what he said he was going to do, and my boys got the privilege of playing in front of a lot of different scouts. My biggest thing in hockey was bringing boys up and pushing them on to college. Because I feel, and like I tell the boys, even if they were squirts, that you boys need to go to college because you're the people that are going to run this country. And we need your education. One of the biggest thrills I had was one day I was coaching over at Winterland. I had a German boy to play for me. His name was Uwe Gargella. Came from Cologne, Germany. Fantastic hockey player. And as I'm coaching, he walks up on the side, and I looked over and I said, oh, hi, Uwe, how are you, Uwe? And he said, Mr. Stege, he said, I'm doing well. He says, I want to thank you for helping me get to college. He says, by you talking to us about college, he says, I went ahead and went to college. That was, tears came to my eyes because that's what I wanted. That's what I worked for, and I got it. Then I went along with the, one time after I retired from the Junior Blues. Good friend of mine, John Winsick, called me up and said, Bud, I need somebody to help me with the Pee Wee Quebecs. I said, John, I'd love to do it. So I spent 6 years with John. We had a great time. I learned a little French when we was in Quebec. So anyway, after that, I just kept getting involved. I got involved with what they call the St. Louis Elite. We call them the STL Elite program. Been with them for 14 years. Have a partner, Rick Peterson, and I took the organization over about 4 years ago. I've always had a dream of taking the midgets to the Prospects tournament in Toronto. One of the largest tournaments in North America, over 90 NHL scouts, college and junior teams. Rick said, Bud, you can't do that. He said, we just don't have it. I said, well, Rick, I bought the jerseys already, so we're going to go. So then he said, well, who are you going to have coach it? I said, great, I'll take care of that. About that time, Basil McRae and Al McGinnis come walking down the hall at the Chesterfield rink. And I said, Al, Baz, do me a favor. They said, what do you need, Bud? I said, I want you to coach this midget team in Toronto. They said, we'd love to do it. First year we went up, Al and Baz took the team, we went up, we came in 8th out of 42 teams. We signed 14 players to junior contracts in college. 2 of them went to Harvard. Second year, I said, Al, Baz, they said, we'll do it again, Bud. We went up. We came in 10th out of 42. We signed 11. So Al came to me, and Basil said, Bud, I'm going home to London. Al said, Bud, I got so much on my plate right now with the Blues and everything. And I said, Al, Baz, I really appreciate it. You really did a great job for me. So we said, well, who are we going to get next? And I said, well, I got a guy in mind, Rick Zombo. So I called Rick up and I said, Rick, I need a favor. I'm always needing a favor. So what can I do for you, Bud? And I said, I want you to coach this midget team. He said, I'd love to. We went up to Toronto last year. We went all the way. But we had a transportation problem, and we could not play in the final game. We had to forfeit it. We came back, we signed 9 players. So in 3 years, we've signed over 30 players to junior and college contracts. That is my greatest experience with amateur hockey, is seeing these boys go to college. And another thing is to be part of the people that sit at this front table. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. One little story I got to say about my good friend Eddie Olson, Sr. I used to play with Ed. In fact, I tell Eddie, when he was playing with the Flyers, after he got done, I'd say, Ed, my dad used to take me, and I used to watch you when I was a little boy. Well, Ed was only about 2-3 years older than I am. But we would play at the Winterland. We started the first amateur, the senior men's league. We had 2 sets of jerseys. We had 4 teams. We changed in the boiler room. When the first team got done with the jerseys, they give them to the second team. So you can imagine how they were. But that's how it really got started. And one thing about Ed that I'll never forget, we'd be playing that night at the Winterland, and Ed would say, Bud, there's 13,450 people here tonight. There was probably 6, but that was Ed Olson. I don't want to take no more of your time, but thank you all for participating in amateur hockey. Thank you. And if God is willing, I want to do this till the day I die. Thank you.